Hi everyone, welcome to the episode 1 of Project 765. This is your host today, Aditi Ranjan. And today we have an amazing guest that is Sankalp Chauhan, also known as AKA the Sankalp Show. If you know MUNs, if you do MUNs and you don't know Sankalp Chauhan, this is a paradox. He's an amazing delegate, amazing teacher, and amazing chair. He have worked on MUNs and also hosted MUNs and created one just under 69 rupees. So that how accessible he make knowledge to people. And with that, I would love to call him for our broadcast, uh not just because he do great things, but also he has made great changes in the world as a youth leader. So the Project 765 episode 1 is his. So everyone, we have Sankalp Chauhan, the Sankalp show with us today. How do you feel, Sankalp, coming to the Project 765?
It's amazing, Aditi. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm up to.
Yeah, I have literally a lot of questions for you right here prepared, so I can ask you a lot of questions. So,
Sure, sure, sure.
okay. So first question is for your introduction only. Before all the content, conferences and code, who was Sankalp Chauhan back then and what was your mindset growing up?
Oh, that's really interesting. Like nobody has asked an introduction like this kind of in this kind of a manner, right? So before everything, like back in the day, like starting out from maybe childhood and or whatever you call that age. So I hail from Delhi NCR basically, right? Like from different regions, like starting out my life from Noida to living in different states altogether of the country, and I was pretty introverted right back in the day in the school. A lot of people now they do not think that that was the case ever, right? But trust me, I was the most introverted and the most the guy with the lowest confidence. I never won an award till I was like in school. Everything happened when I joined college and all, right? So these are the things that changed. So I was also focused on like working on those skills. I was like like I cannot be like an introverted guy and like cannot carry forward with that in my life, right? So that was the intention. So that's how it all started.
Okay, that was interesting. I can relate a lot more with that. So if you don't mind, I have already given your introduction before, like you joined, so just a
It's
pre-handed
okay.
over.
It's okay. It's okay.
So I have a second question for you, and that this is quite interesting one. So you told us that you are from Delhi NCR, and then also you have lived in Odisha, you have lived in Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Lucknow. So if you had to pick one city that has truly shaped you, who you are, so which one it would be and why? So
All right.
we have
Yeah.
stalked, our team has stalked your Instagram full well.
Yeah, yeah. So no, I haven't stayed as such in Lucknow and Hyderabad. I was just there for just for the traveling purposes and conference purposes. I've stayed in Bhubaneswar definitely, and before that, I used to stay in Bathinda, Punjab. So these two cities are the major cities which has impacted a lot in my life, right? A bit of Panipat also, like Panipat, Haryana. Right. So these two are the major cities. Like, of course, Bhubaneswar plays a very, very important role because I spent the most amount of time of my childhood as well as like schooling and college. Everything happened in Bhubaneswar. So that involves a major chunk of my time. So that definitely. I mean that's one of the major cities. Apart from that, Bathinda, Punjab, yes, that shaped the real childhood when I was there in that cities, right? So these two are the major cities, right?
That is interesting. So how is your life going right now? Everything fine and like where are you
Yeah, yeah,
staying right
yeah.
now?
Yeah, right now I'm in Bangalore only. Right now I'm working at a UK based startup as of now in content marketing and product design. So currently I'm working there. So I'm in Bangalore only right now. So life is good as of now. It's a constant juggling between like work and content and conferences and all. So since like last one almost for a year, I haven't really done any conferences. Like I have almost
I can
got
relate
away
that
from
one
that.
lot from my side because same school, event, content. So there's so much
Yeah,
of it. So
yeah. So.
and I also really want to talk that you have already talked a lot about the placement issue with the college regarding on your channel. So what is it exactly that went wrong? And if you can restart your college life, what would you do differently from the present what you have done?
Interesting. So, like when kids, especially kids, enter into college and all, they do not realize that how like the whole placement scene is actually operated and how these things actually go ahead, right? It's always an experience on the go, right? For majority of the kids, that was the same thing with me as well, right? I never knew that how these placement things are going to happen and what are the different I would say criterias or like different situations or scenarios where I can be put into, right? So those things which a general student is not aware of is what the problem is where the problem comes into the picture, right? And also a lot of colleges. I mean, speaking from majority of engineering colleges, right? They take a lot of advantage of students, right? They take, I mean, they bring out certain companies from here and there, and then a lot of mass recruitment company comes into the picture, and then they say that we have been placed and all, right? So these are the small issues. Like they're not as that small, but these small issues are the ones which have become a common practice in a lot of colleges that absolutely needs to be changed first of all, and then that requires a lot of improvement. And whatever in my capacity I can do towards my juniors is what I aim to do.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Okay, so I think I knew you will give me some this kind of answer and only. So I have next question, something similar. So let's say that you are a prime minister of India just for one day. So
Oh my god.
what kind of reforms would you like to bring in all the colleges and especially engineering college because you are part of one, so you know in and out of engineering college.
All right, yeah, that's good. I think I think with the new NEP policies, all these kind of things. So the change has already started to happen, like right from the school level, right? Like the kind of curriculum change, and as well as the in our time, it was not even the possibility that there were certain cases that you cannot take science along with let's say commerce, and science along with some other subject, right? But thankfully right now it's not. I mean, the changes are still in the progress, in the process, right? So that is one thing. Speaking specifically from colleges side, I would say definitely from engineering colleges, the kind of curriculum change that is required in an engineering college as of now is should be the top priority for any right? The kind of rapid changes that are happening in the industry, like these, they do not match along with what is being taught in engineering colleges. So even if you'll talk to anybody in let's say working as a software engineer or in the IT field, you'll always find that they have always studied something. I mean, always studied on their own, right? College has only helped them getting somewhere across the places, right? So that is something which absolutely required. I mean, if I have the capacity, then why not?
Okay. So I've also heard that, like, I have not been to college yet, but I have seen that the kind of study they make in engineering colleges back of the 19th generation. Like, you don't read the technology what we have today, but we read it something the century back. So, what is your comment on that?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what just said, right? The curriculum is so old and so outdated that in today's world, in today's rapidly changing world, especially with AI and all, right? These things stand nowhere. Like whatever is being taught in a lot of colleges, the things are outdated. The things are just, I mean, the students are also just reading it in order to just pass the world application. They have no real case scenario where a student can actively say that, I have learned something from college and this is applicable in the industry. There's a huge gap between what is being taught in the colleges and what is being actually useful in the industry. So that's where a lot of student actually fail also, like, to fail to fill the gap, and that's why there are a lot of unplaced, the unemployment and all that kind of things happen.
Okay, so now coming to MUN. So MUNs are big part of who Sankalp Chauhan is and the Sankalp show, actually, I would say rather. So I want to
Yeah, you can
ask
say that.
that you have chaired a lot of MUNs and been a part as a delegate also in lot of MUNs. So what was the one mistake or like what one experience that still give you actual chills or like something the major personal win you had in any of MUNs while chairing or while as a delegate?
Okay, so if you're just speaking about winning, then yeah, there are multiple. I would say once I was doing a conference in Cuttack, that was somewhere in Revencho University, right? And in I was like, there were students from Bengal circuit as well. So for the people who do not know, Bengal students and the delegates from Bengal circuits are very strong in terms of debating, and in terms of debating, basically, right? They have a very strong circuit. They are really smart in that aspect, right? And whenever conferences happen in Bhubaneswar or Odisha, anywhere in Odisha, it is a very high possibility that delegates from Bengal will also be there, right? And vice versa, of course, right? So in that university, five people from one specific college of Bengal, which was very highly reputed, right? And in that conference, I won a high commendation, right? And I genuinely thought that this was something like I missed a best delegate because, of course, the best delegate was way more experienced than I was, and he clearly deserved that. But I was not even expecting a high com, in that scenario. But I got it, so I was like, yeah, let's go. So that was the most, I would say, amazing or a memorable moment I would remember.
So talking about the MUNs, I have also like I have researched that you have found a MUN that is TSS MUN. I hope I'm right? So why did you start it and what made you like what is the decision behind keeping it like at 69 rupees because you can cost more than that like you can create a good amount of money being a such an influencer and a lot of things I
Yeah.
hope you understand. So why did you make it more accessible to people?
Yeah. So initially, I never really had a plan to, start or conduct my own MUN, right? But then, so I had a community also, like on WhatsApp. It's a just a delegate based community, like
Yeah,
around
I'm also
1,000,
part of it.
1,500. Okay, yeah, thanks. Thousand around 1,000 people are there, right? So one day, uh, on one weekend, actually, there was somebody there, like the students from that community only. They started to say that we are going to organize an MUN and all. So somebody from the community texted me back that, "Bhaiya, aap chair karoge kya?" Like, we're conducting an MUN. Are you going to chair in that conference? I was like, "Ki, what is happening?" Like, because I generally don't go through that process because it's a very long and tedious job, and like I do not go through messages also a lot of times, right? So I was like, "Ki, what is happening?" Right? So they said that we are conducting an MUN, and would you be like to be the chair? So I was like कि अगर कर ही रहे हैं तो फिर ढंग से करते हैं, मतलब थोड़ा रुक जाते हैं, एक हफ्ते का टाइम देते हैं, let's give it 7 days, and I'll do whatever in my capacity is possible. I'll do it and make it, like make it like a proper how an MUN actually looks like, right? So that was the idea, and the main idea or the intention behind conducting my own MUN was to just spread the educational part of it, right? Because I keep on getting a lot of messages that भैया मुझे पता ही नहीं है कि कैसे कमेटी में क्या करते हैं, मेरे को बोलना नहीं आता, and I lose confidence and all that, right? So I was like, it's a very small initiative, but I was like, let's try doing that, right? The reason we did not keep it for free, because of course then people do not value it, right? So and barely, I mean, the idea was that बहुत small amount रहेगा, but let's keep some amount so that people will at least take it a bit seriously, and it was also easier from our side to track that who has paid and who has not, and then they are the actual part of the conference, and or who is not, right? So that was the main idea. The amount is very minimal, of course, right? Anybody, luckily and thankfully, the results that we were expecting, it went like 4 times more. So we were able to give cash prizes to all the winning delegates, right? Because initially that was not the plan, because we were like कि अगर पैसे ही नहीं इकट्ठे हो पाएंगे तो देंगे कहाँ से, right? So that was the intention, but eventually it worked out. Worked out.
That was so inspiring,
Yeah.
actually. So,
Uh,
as someone who has been like both delegate and chair, what is the biggest mistake young participants or like the first timer in MUN make? And I want like a detailed answer it because I'm going in my first MUN very soon. So by the time
oh,
this
nice.
videos got launched there, I am in MUN. So you can advise
All
me
right.
and my audience.
I think I no no I'll tell you. First of all, do not take any sort of tension, or like how are going things going to work out in a conference, and like general uh, anything that gives you tension on in terms of how are you going to perform in a first committee, right? Just forget about it, right? You go ahead, enjoy the process, right? And take a look around how people are speaking, because first conference should never be aimed to win anything in the conference, right? Because nobody, a good delegate who comes out later, who becomes a good delegate later on, right? They all of them have terrible episodes of first 7 to 8 conferences, right? They hardly win anything, right? So if you're going to just for the intention or for the sake of, or the with the intention of just winning a conference, then that's a problem, right? First of all, and you should just go enjoy the process, like just lose yourself there, and take help, understand how things are happening, take help from your seniors. The In majority cases, the good delegates will definitely help you out, or in how things are actually working out. Because in my case, also back in 2019, like it was way back, right? So in my first conference as well, there were really good people who supported me and made me were trying to make me understand how things are happening. So of course, the times have changed, the people and the spirit is still the same, right? So that is the idea, that for the first conference, just go with the flow, just relax and enjoy the process. Just make sure that you get enough reasons to attend your next conference as well, right? So that should be the idea. Winning losing comes secondary. A lot of people, I mean, a lot of first timers they take this kind of stress, that what if I don't win, and what if I lose in a particular conference. I mean, that's okay. I mean, that's how it is supposed to be,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
That was amazing. I think it will help me a lot because I am taking a lot of tensions for my MUN.
No, nothing like that. Yeah, don't do not at all.
Okay, so
Yeah.
continuing on our MUN questions only, if you had to give us or my audience or anyone who is watching this three MUNs that you should attend, so what it should like that should thing would be, if you can name, or circuit. If you
Uh,
cannot name, then you can name the circuit.
Yeah, circuit I can name. Yeah, I won't be naming specific conferences, because I don't know what it might come up to,
Yeah.
right? So circuit definitely. First of all, Odisha circuit, Bhubaneswar, uh, has a lot of conferences, right? Bhubaneswar hosts a lot of conferences throughout the year, right? So definitely, and the quality of delegates is increasing day by day as we speak. They are like way better delegates emerging out from that particular circuit, right? So definitely, if you can try out Bhubaneswar circuit anytime, right? There are multiple universities. One of the largest MUN in the entire Eastern Belt is hosted by like my university. It was KIIT MUN, right? So you can definitely try that. That particular conference will be one of your there will be delegates coming from all sorts of circuits, right? So one of the one I mean that conference is something if you can look up to if you are coming to Bhubaneswar or in anywhere in the like in that eastern region, so definitely try that. Apart from that, secondary, it comes down to Bengal circuit. Definitely, I mean, if you are actually looking to what really debating is and what and how exactly do you argument and counter argument, right? I think people from Bengal, the delegates of Bengal, the debaters and the lawyers from Bengal are the perfect example to learn from, right? Because their normal conversation is also a debate, right? So me and my friends, we used to make fun in that way that like people here, their normal conversation is also a debate, right? So just imagine when they come down to it debating what they might do, right? So that is one. And again, the largest circuit is Delhi circuit, I guess, right? Definitely, if you are anywhere from north, you are automatically a part of Delhi circuit, right? So you can explore that as well, right? So these three are the major circuits. Apart from that, there are like south circuit also. South many conferences in South Circuit, so I am not able to like I would be having an opinion on that. But these three major circuits you can definitely try out.
Okay. So, also, you are clearly into so much into books and philosophy, how much, yeah, our team had seen. So, if you recommend us just one book to somebody who never reads, so what it would be and why?
That's interesting, and
You can
that's
take
tough
your time,
also.
no worries.
Yeah, for the say like if you want to start let's say reading or something, right, then I have a different suggestions. But if you want to just want me to say one particular book that you should definitely read, then I have a different answer. But let's say if you want to start or break into reading, right, that's how I also started, right? Start with fiction, of course, right? Start with Dan Brown. Let's say I started with Dan Brown first of all, and or I would say, if you're just starting out with reading, start reading with anything basically, right? Like articles, or like long posts, or whatever you call it, right? So if you want to start out with reading, these are the starting point. Whatever interests you, you should read that. Then later on, pivot it towards books and different kind of things. But uh, if one book that I would love to recommend to somebody who has read a couple of things, and that would be the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, right? So that is one book that definitely one should read, and of course any book from Jordan Peterson, Robert Greene, um, and then there are multiple other authors that I read annually, right? So but these two major authors are something that everybody I think should read their work, or at least listen.
Also, so we have talked a lot about kind of, I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, yeah. So we have talked a lot about placement, places, and MUN. So now let's get something a deep talk. So this is like a really personal question I want to ask everyone is that if you when you are mentally low or like mentally lost, so what is the one quote or idea from book or person you want to go through? Like is it friends, family? Like what do you do?
Yeah, so specifically talking about when I am mentally doing not so good, right? Then I seek solitude, to be very honest. I don't like, or I don't go to any particular person or a place, or all those things. I seek solitude, and I think that in that scenario, I or in that particular position, I can think better, right? So, but for a lot of people, it can be anything, like talking to someone, or reading their favorite books and all that, right? So that can work out with a lot of people in different senses. But for me personally, I make distance from everyone, and then I was like, I'm like single and alone for a while, and then I come back somehow.
Kind of
Yeah.
relatable. Okay, so also, I have a really interesting question, and this is basically for everyone who is into YouTube or Instagram or who is posting themselves online. So, the question is, what made you start a YouTube channel, first of all, in first place, and how did you overcome that fear of putting yourself? Because I think as a creator, you can relate. Putting yourself on YouTube
Yeah, of course.
is a very hard thing. Yeah, so, and
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it all started back in COVID only, right? Around like in the end of 2019, and beginning of 2020, or somewhere around that. And the main reason for me, in order to put up videos, was that I had to. So like, was the idea that I need to improve my communication skills, right? I need to improve the way I speak. I need to improve the way I talk to people, because that never came easy to me. As I told that, I was already introverted, and my English was really poor and all that kind of things, right? So that was and I knew that talking to a camera, or sitting and recording a video, even a one single video, can actually improve your soft skills a lot, right? And that was the intent, and I could actually feel that when I was making videos back in the day, right? Rest, coming down to growing a YouTube channel, that is a different game altogether, right? And I would say that I just got lucky with the fact that MUN content blew up, right? Because, and that was also the because of the case that nobody else was making content like this, right? So I think that is the reason why I started out with YouTube, and then putting myself out. I have this thing. I still have that thing that like, क्या ही होगा था पोस्ट करके क्या मतलब कोई क्या ही सोच लेगा, that you have to be in that mindset. You have to be like uh, stubborn enough that even if I post, that's my growth, right? That's my personal thing. You have to give uh, uh, less on people, less to people opinions, right? So those are the things that you need to work somehow, right? And eventually you get it. I still get that anxiety that what if I publish this particular video, and what will be the reaction of people? But I'm like, I'm doing it for myself. I don't really care much about it. So that thing is required.
okay, so I have kind of very interesting question, this one, and this is personally from me. So you can give us a reference. So how much do you earn from YouTube and content today? You can give how much iPhones
Okay.
can you buy?
No, it's not that much. I would say that content, especially if you're starting young, if you're starting from an early stage, from your school level or college level, that helps you in a lot of ways. Getting direct payment is one thing from content. I mean, of course, that also exists, right? But creating content helps you in a second degree, I would say, a layer below that, below your normal life, right? So it has helped me in my life as well. Like, getting a job gets easier when you have something on the side going on, when you are dedicated towards something, right? So the recruiter also knows that, okay, this guy is something extra, right? That has helped a lot, even during my college placements, and even when I was there, when I go out and look for a job or switch for a better job or something like that, right? So those are the important things. I would say that why somebody should start content creation as well. They should not just think about a direct payment. Of course, that's a way, right? But it helps more in the secondary level or second degree approach, right? So it gets easier to get a job. It gets easier to whenever you say that people if you say to people that this is something that I do on the side, right? So that clicks something in the recruiter's mind. So I would say that helps in I mean the content helps in that sense rather than direct payments and all. And direct payments are not much, like just for the sake of it. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just peanuts.
Yeah. Okay. I also wanted to ask you about, you have so much good friends and you have a lot of enjoyment with them. So what actually friendship mean to you? And like if you want to give some advice to people about friendship. So yeah, sure.
Sure, sure, sure. I would say that um, friends and having people to take care of you, right, is extremely, extremely important. First of all, right, and I wish everybody to have certain number of people that people who care about them, right? Because to be very honest, a lot of people, especially in corporate, right, they are very lonely in majority of the cases, right? And that is why I feel that I'm lucky with the kind of people, the kind of friends that I have, first of all, right? And I would say that initially that was not the case. I told you that I was a very different kind of a person back in school, right? So I never really had, or I never really put a lot of efforts in friendship in any sense back in school as well as in college, to be very honest, right? My only friends, only friend, my friends are generally from college. I mean, circuits, MUN circuits, right? The people who have seen me winning, the people who have seen me losing, the people who have grown with me in a particular circuit, right? Those are my friends. Along with that, I have friends from Bangalore itself, like the people with whom I started my corporate journey, right? The people with whom I'm living right now, right? All these people are extremely, extremely important, and we know that. I mean, it's a I would say a trade-off, right? That you give. I mean, friendship is again very subjective, but I still believe that you should have that thing, right? And if you're struggling to go out, meet people, it's not that difficult of a case. And yeah, the friends are special. They are important. They should be cherished. That's it.
That was nice. So now we have something very philosophical kind of questions, and I like you have to deep think about these questions. So the question number 12 we have is: imagine back, you are in your back early days, so before all the content you have posted, before all the MUNs, and before. So if you get 1 minute call with your younger self, who is thinking to starting a YouTube channel, or what he is going to do with life. So, what things would you say in that 1 minute call to him?
Oh, that's really interesting. I mean, I never really thought in that way, but okay. Yeah. So I've okay. So what would I say to my younger self? I would just say that like again. So the thing that differentiate between a lot of people, right? It's the ability to keep going. To be very honest, I mean, this sounds very superficial, but that is quite a reality, right? A lot of people actually give up in the middle of a lot of things, right? And I also gave up multiple times on YouTube and on content. But I was like, "Hey, let's go, let's keep on trying, let's keep on trying," right? So if I had a call with my younger self, I would say that like keep trying, keep hitting, and definitely things will be better, right? Because I was initial stages or initial days of my college were not that happening and were not great, right? Of course, I mean we were literally in the middle of the pandemic, right? What good would you expect, right? So I was like, I would say that like keep going, keep hitting, and yeah, things and everything will be much better than you had expected.
Okay,
Yeah.
and also if you have to manifest, question number 13 we have, if you have to manifest one big milestone for the Shankar show today, so what it would be?
Yeah. Okay. So generally, I'm not a very big fan of numbers, to be very honest, right? Specifically with YouTube and content. I know that it's a number game. I know that the larger the number, the more the value, right? But I would genuinely manifest in that sense that through the Sankalp show, right? I am able to create in anybody's life and the maximum amount of change that I can bring to even to a one person who gets improved in his or her, let's say, communication skills or English speaking skills, because that's where I also come from. That's a difficulty that I personally faced, right? So if I can bring some change and create some impact in anybody's life, right? Irrespective of the number that this particular channel reaches, right? That is what I manifest, right? Yeah. So,
And so this is a kind of fun question we have. So have you ever taken advantage of the number of followers or subscriber you have? Like, okay, I have this much followers. Can you or something like that?
no, no, no. I never really got the chance to do that. So yeah, in fact, I hide this the fact that I am the same person who is there on the Sankalp show, right? So a lot of the times happens, like especially after when the content started to boom, right? A lot of time it happened with me that any conference that I go after that thing, right? There will always be people recognizing, right, that oh, I've seen you somewhere, I know that you are that. So there were like multiple episodes where I was in a common area, and then people were watching my own videos. So that was so embarrassing. But I was like, okay. So that's why I hide that I'm the same person. So
I
that
think that is one of the happiest moment one can have that
yeah,
somebody has
yeah, yeah.
recognized you.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is very true. So the first time it happened, I was shocked. I was really shocked because the channel was very low in number, and I mean, the videos were doing fine, but the channel growth was really less. So there was in one of the very random conference in Odisha only. There was a kid from seventh standard who literally made notes out of my videos in order to win in a committee. And that kid was so talented, so stubborn in his points. Like, he was not in my committee, I was chairing some different committee, but my friends were there in that committee, and he won a high com in that particular committee. So that was something I was like, yeah, I mean, it is going somewhere, right? So yeah.
So I have two more questions left. So the first question,
Yeah.
this question is, what is one of the happiest moment of your life, and what actually happiness mean to you?
Okay. All right. What is the happiest moment in my life? There have been like multiple of them, to be very honest, right? But the recent ones that I remember, or I particularly I cherish, was during the time that I got placed from my college to a company, right? And or I would say the time when I switched the job, right? Because that was a tough time, like a couple of months back, with like I was put down on a notice period, and then things used to things were very different back in the day, right? So, but then I somehow got this new thing. So that those were the I would say the happiest, or the good moments, right? Of course, there are multiple others, right? I can like every day is a one of the reasons. That is one part. And I forgot the question. What was the second part?
What happiness means to you?
Yeah. So yeah, that's important, right? Because for a lot of people, it means a lot of different things. Of course, uh, I would say if you're in a peace or a peaceful situation, right? You're making decent money. Your parents are happy. You're good with good people around. you're eating good food, all these basic, if your basics are sorted, right? If your basics are sorted, there's no one in the hospitals, struggling for life and all that. If those things are sorted, trust me, that's a luxury, right? Because there are lots and lots of people who are seeking, or whatever your life is a luxury to them, right? So I would say that that's what makes me happy from the deep inside, right? That um, things are okay, like they're going good. So that's it. That's what happiness means to me, to be in purest forms.
So we have the final question that, and this is inspired from Jay Shetty. What is the best piece of advice you have ever heard or received?
Oh, ever heard or received? Oh, that's interesting. Um, I think it was from Robert Greene or something. I mean, if I'm mistaken, right? It's not an advice, rather it's a form of life. To be very honest, like stoicism is something that I actually believe in, right? I have a tattoo on my forearm as well, of being a stoic, right? So I don't know how I was introduced to Stoicism, to be very honest. I don't remember the reason, but the way it has impacted in my life by implementing very major phenomena of that particular philosophy has impacted a lot, right? And if I can guide anybody in that way, that how stoic, or what kind of a thing that they should pursue, definitely it is stoicism, right? It teaches you a lot. The book that I suggested, Meditation by Marcus Aurelius, is one of the main learning point of stoicism. Apart from that, then of course you can go deeper into Socrates and all that, right? So you can read about them as well. So that form of living life is something I have received as an advice, or somewhere from the internet, right? So I would, and that's what I would pass on to other person as well.
Okay, so with this, we have come to the end of episode one of Project 765, and I'm so grateful to you. So, thank you so much for coming and making this happen. This was actually a dream, and you made it true. So, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't know, 1 or 1.5 hour. I don't even remember. Right, it was a fun conversation, and it didn't even feel like a burden to me at all in any senses. Right. So thank you so much for having me.
Done with the episode one shoot of Project 765, and the smile and the tears in my eyes can tell how much proud I am of myself today, because it's not easy to bring somebody great and talk to them. So I'm just so grateful to God and everyone who is watching this. I will watch till the end, and please share your honest reviews with me. And with that, thank you so much, so much for making this dream come true. I'm really grateful for to everyone, I would say rather. And yes, just thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.